Good evening, and welcome to this week's London by Gaslight, a late Victorian age vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in 1892. Awakening for the night in a city of London, this week, is Inspector Grey from the clan of the Hunt, portrayed by Noscavian. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor slumber. Gain a hunger. Thurston of the Nosferatu, portrayed by Nitro Taipat. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor slumber. Excellent. Aldric of the clan of Shapers, portrayed by Bully from Tablegoth. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor state. You're getting hungry tonight. Eveline, the daughter of Cacophony, portrayed by Miss Hartz. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor state. Excellent. And last but not least, Alistair from the clan of the Moon, portrayed by Tina. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor slumber. Wonderful. We begin this week Alistair has taken a walk around the city, having been chased out of his house by the voice of his dead girlfriend. He simply walks through the city aimlessly and eventually finds himself inside of a small asylum in the city. When he comes back to his senses, he realizes he is walking along the corridors of the institution, with no idea how he came to be there, but nonetheless begins to cast his eyes around the damp, dilapidated, and neglected brick and stone, passing by various cells and the poor souls contained within. He stops his walk as one of the inmates catches his attention, a fairly young man knelt down in the middle of the cell behind iron bars, using his bare hands and sharpened nails to tear long strips of flesh off his arm and eating them. Alistair stares at him, fascinated by the man, as the voice once more breaks the relative silence his focus granted him.
Kill that one.
I look around. Is there anybody around?
Aside from various patients, loose fit of the word, there's no one of authority in the vicinity.
But it's not fun.
Kill that one.
Why?
You know you want to do it.
I look around. What's around me?
You've got various cells, stone brick.
I'll just... Because I'm lazy and I want to make sure I'm quiet, I'll use telepathy on this guy and cast Dementation. And in his head, I'll just hear, you gotta die.
You'll hear various random phrases. The earth rotates around the sun. The sun rotates around the moon. The moon is in my head.
I hear that?
Yes. That's the other man's train of thought.
Oh, no, I'm using telepathy to cast Dementation so I don't have to speak out loud.
Ah. Cast Dementation for me, please.
Yeah. I don't know where it's at. 4. Do what the thing. There you go. In case he needs a roll.
Man stops midway through chewing on a piece of his arm. Slowly turns his head to look at you as blood dribbles from one of the corners of his mouth. Gives you a strange, crazed smile and begins to fall to the floor.
Kill that one.
And do a willpower roll for me, please.
Four.
Alistair hears the voice, compelling him to take the young man's life, but just barely manages to maintain his own free will.
I just walk over and stand over him. Aldric's gonna be so mad. And I will just step on his neck.
That'll be a free action.
I'm a vampire. I'm probably strong enough to break his neck.
You're either going to crush it or you're going to do enough to kill him. As you bring your foot down on him, bones snap, crack underneath you. The man seems to be smiling up at you, and in your head,
yeah, whatever, bitch.
Alistair stands in the cell alone, the wails and moans of the various inmates providing cover for his murder. He adjusts his clothes and casually walks out of the asylum and makes his way across the city to the Whitechapel house. The coterie have amassed within the meeting room of the Whitechapel house, placing themselves in their respective seats. As usual, Eveline is the last one to enter, and makes a display almost as grand as the house is once more about taking her place at the solid oak table, upon which is a folded letter, and the coterie settle in to discuss their plans for the night ahead.
I'll pick up the letter and read it out loud.
The letter reads, "Come to Elysium. It has been quite some time since last we spoke. We also have a task for you. Dirk."
I wonder what task Dirk had for it.
Probably taking out the trash again like usual.
It has been some time since we've been there, though. Might do some good to brighten up the place with our presence.
Has anyone done anything to get anyone in trouble that we don't know about before we go in there?
I'll side-eye Inspector Gray.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
A lot of looks towards Inspector. If I could somehow split to where I side-eye Gray and Alistair, that's what would happen.
You're asking.
Yeah.
If anyone here could do that.
You could literally just go like that scene from Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Gray would look at everyone and says, the most recent thing I've done was my involvement with all of us and Valerius. So I can't say there's anything else that's going.
Why is everybody
Surely
looking at me?
that's not anything to bring up to Elysium.
Absolutely not.
Right. I suppose we should go see what he wants then.
Just as you are about to all stand up, your conversation is interrupted by a knock at the door. Standing there is Sarah Lynn. "Miss Eveline, there's a man downstairs in the hallway. He looks rather frantic and says he needed to speak with you."
Pardon me. And I'll go follow her down.
Leads you down the grand staircase, and as you approach, you see the frantic, desperate figure of the man that looks after a young man. His face is slightly obscured by his top hat, and his black cloak flails behind him as he hurriedly rushes towards you. "Miss Eveline, it's Young man, it's me. It's lots of things. Please, I must tell someone.
Please, out with it.
Smoker's cough. He has, since your time together, been spending more time away from the house. With his absence, my own mind grows clearer, like a fog lifting. I am starting to recall things that previously I did not.
Such as?
Well, I believed the young man was my own child, but now I'm remembering that differently. I found him one night on my doorstep. He asked to come in, and I felt I had to let him in. Things from there
He spoke?
as... He did. I think he did. Things from then on are still foggy. And as for young man, I say these nights he is starting to spend more time out. He returns near dawn, often with blood upon his clothing, and then I am compelled to house him once more. I worry, though, that he may be trying to find a new custodian. Young man is dangerous and manipulative, more than average kindred.
Surely as he's gotten better. My turn. As he's gotten better, he's become more independent. But perhaps he could use some lessons on etiquette.
I believe this is transcendent of etiquette. Are you familiar with cuckoos?
I'm not, would she be?
I don't think ornithology is a thing for Eveline, is it?
Oh, that type! I figured cuckoos was a name for something. And actually, when did
Sometimes
Audubon come out?
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Seriously, though, when did Audubon come out?
When did the what?
Because if so, she would. The Audubon book. The birds. If so, she would know birds. We'll say she knows birds.
Okay. Cuckoos, as you probably know, as that Audubon book is very popular at the moment, they tend to deposit their eggs with other birds. The other birds are unfamiliar with this and simply raise the cuckoo chick as their own. I believe young man is similar to a cuckoo chick.
Interesting. I wonder who in the world would have put him there. But does this mean you think that your own chicks might have been killed much like the cuckoo bird does?
It has crossed my mind, for I do not remember my own child, but I do remember having one. My main concern is, though, that he may be spending time outside of the house attempting to locate you.
I mean, he knows where I live.
Does he? Perhaps, then, something is preventing him from entering here. Something protects you? But either way, you are still in danger. Will Robinson.
I don't feel in danger. And surely if he's looking for me, then I will encounter him during my night.
Well, if you have any ideas at all on how I might defend myself or how you may defend yourself, please do not hesitate to get in contact with me. But I should return to the manor house in case he returns early and finds me absent.
I will keep an eye out for him and let you know if I find out.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Eveline. Good evening. Places his top hat upon himself.
Have a good night.
Leaves.
I'll walk back, adjust my dress. Sorry for my tardiness. Shall we go?
I believe it may be wise for us to stop to satiate ourselves before we go to.
Good idea.
I don't think we want to make any messes in Elysium.
Right. I can always use for a spot. Let's go.
Perjury head out of the Whitechapel house and straight into Aldric's awaiting carriage, each taking a seat next to each other. Is there anything you wish to discuss en route, or would you like to just arrive at the opium den?
As we ride, I will keep an eye on the window, watching the passerbys on the street, looking for young man.
You'll be pleased or
Actually, yeah, I
disappointed.
probably would ask what was the message at the door about?
Oh, it was just someone looking for someone else they thought I might know.
All right.
Are you lying to us?
I think she is.
I don't like when people tell the truth. Do I have to find out what you're thinking?
No, literally, it was someone looking for someone I know.
I'm not even mad that you're lying. I'm just mad at how vague and poorly executed this lie is. Right? It's insulting to me. Someone came looking for someone who I may or may not allegedly know. What? Evelyn. Try,
Someone you
Elizabeth.
don't know is looking for young man. And with young man's fast... Oh, you don't get involved with that.
What did he say? Sometimes he's so quiet I can't hear him with all the other voices.
And as young man is quite infatuated with me, he thought maybe I'd seen him.
All right. Have you?
I have not, no.
Right. It wasn't so hard, was it?
It's none of your business.
I can...
Perhaps I misjudged you.
Who?
Why are you so sassy tonight?
He's really feeling a lot better, it seems like.
Apparently.
Yes.
He likes his yeses and nos. I can't understand a fuck what else he says. But yes and no, it's a lot of conviction there.
Demonic accent and the dialect. Right, I will leave it to that then. I'm sure if there was anything else of import, you'd let us know. But you're right, you're allowed your own business as well. We'll make our way.
The carriage carries on through the busy streets of London. Arriving outside one of Aldric's many opium dens. Who's going inside?
Can I heal superficial real quick?
Yes,
And then I'll
absolutely.
decide
Do a
if I'm
rouse
going
check for
in.
me, please. Gain a hunger. I'm having horrible issues with tabs, so I'll just say thank you, Martlet Games. Just Evelyn, Aldric, Inspector Grey heading in?
I raised my hand too. You were too busy. I fucking Martlet Games, so you didn't see it. Sorry.
I thought that Thurston said he...
If you loved me, you'd swallow that.
Just can't talk tonight. I thought Thurston said he was coming in too.
Yeah, if everyone's going
Who's
in,
not
then-
going in? That's easier at this point.
Everyone's going in. And you are greeted by the man on the counter who gives you a nod and tells you your VIP room is ready and free as always, Master.
Right, thank you. Any special requests from anyone?
My usual.
Nothing unusual for me, please.
Whatever you recommend is fine.
You seem in a good... You seem to be at a good spot tonight, Inspector. I don't think I want to push you one way or the other. So yeah, the usual for myself, Miss Evelyn, and something more natural for the rest.
You make your way to the VIP area, settle in among the silk, satin sheets and pillows. A few moments later, a grand display is made of 5 people being led inside. Who would like to feed first?
I'll go first.
Okay, do your feeding roll for me, please, Alistair.
Time to get crazy. Losing my voice.
Yeah, I think we've all got a bit
Happening
of
to
the
all of us
coughs this
tonight.
week, yeah.
Nom 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 too.
Would you like to re-roll?
I am hungry. Yeah, I'll re-roll 2 of them.
Perfect.
3.
Alistair is in no mood to play with his prey tonight, simply forcing the man down, extending his fangs and sinking them deep into the flesh, taking his fill. You may slake 2 hunger as the man lets out a slightly erotic sigh and leans into the silk and satin sheets. Who's next?
I will run my hands through my victim's hair and softly sing a love song into his ear.
Eveline begins to hum the ancient, well-known love song, entrails ripped from a virgin's cunt by Cannibal Corpse, extends her fangs and sinks them into the man's flesh, extracting just enough vitae to satiate her hunger. He also leans back into the sheets and slowly dives down. You may slake 2 hunger. Inspector Grey.
Yes, I will go ahead and feed all the one presented to me. I
to reroll?
will re-roll 2 of those.
Wonderful.
There we go.
Inspector Grey, unused to his prey being quite so wide awake, is at first unsure and hesitant of what to do, but followed Alistair's lead, throwing his hand over the man's eyes and sinking his own fangs into the man's skin, flesh, and extracting just enough blood to satiate his own hunger. You may slake 2 hunger. Thurston or Aldric, which of you would like to go first?
Doesn't matter to me.
Take it, Thurston.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of issue the person that I was given to pay more attention to what Eveline is doing. And I'll sneak up behind him.
Thurston, having successfully distracted his prey, wastes no time, pounces upon him, sinking his own fangs into the man's skin and flesh, piercing the veins, and extracts just enough of his own blood to satiate his hunger. You may slake 2. Aldric.
Do it.
Like to re-roll or stick with it?
Yeah, I'll reroll.
Wonderful. Aldric wastes no time taking advantage of the man's inebriated state and sinks his fangs into the flesh and feels re-energized as the tainted blood courses its way through his veins. You may slake 2 hunger, and Eveline and Aldric, you also get the benefit of high-functioning addict. What would you like to do?
Elysium?
The coterie once more get back into Aldric's carriage, which makes its way speedily across the city, arriving at the familiar site outside of Elysium. They step out onto the warm summer night street, enter into the illustrious building, and up the winding marble stairs into the Elysium floor. They go through the double doors at the end of the landing, and walk into the busy floor. As they enter, Dirk stands and gestures for them to come and sit at his table. The coterie proceed over to meet him. As he stands, he gestures to seats, and once they are all sat down, he pulls his own chair in and rests his clasped hands on the table. Good evening, kindred. I am so pleased to see you again. It has been such a long time since last we spoke. The Amaranth murders have been stopped for the time being. I'm sure this is, of course, thanks to the actions of yourselves. But make no mistake, the perpetrator of these vile acts must still be brought to answer for their misdeeds. With a lull in the Amaranth, it has been decided that you shall be tasked with another important matter. Are any of you familiar with a particularly unique clan called the Followers of Set?
Yes.
They're out of character question. They were the ones who gave us that really good tea, right? Yeah.
Aldric is currently in business with them, but he's never heard of them.
Then, for the benefit of the rest of the coterie, please permit me to explain, Inspector Grey. They are a particularly vile coven of kindred. They cling to their own beliefs and see them as the only true kindred of the night. They idolize serpents, and much like serpents, they are loathsome, two-faced, and only concerned with their own self-interests. We knew that they had set up outside of London, but since that time they have slowly gained a foothold in the city. We need to know how many of their temples exist here, who the high priests or priestesses are, so that you can then eliminate them. Our only lead at the moment is a kindred of their ilk named Halem Bay. He runs an antique shop not far from here within the West End, within Soho Square. His shop is of course only open during the night. He uses it as a cover to seem more eclectic and exotic. We of course know exactly why he uses the cover of darkness. Little is known about the followers of Set. Chaos seems to be their agenda. They are disorganized. It seems there are factions within their faction. This is one of their weaknesses, but also works as one of their strengths. They are unified by their beliefs, but they are disjointed by their methods. Go to Bay's shop. Find out what you can. You must not let him realize what you're doing, and if he meets undeath too soon, we will never get the information we need.
I am curious how. What is it about this Church of Set that is such a problem? I'd like to know what our enemy is and why they are our enemy.
Mithras himself has a particular disdain for the followers of Set. The Camarilla do not like them at all either, as they do not tend to respect the Masquerade. They are too loud. They bring attention to themselves and those around them, and then slither away into the shadows, leaving others to clean up their mess or face the consequences.
Nice pun.
You say they are unified in their belief. What is that belief?
They believe with utmost vulgarity, that the first kindred was the Egyptian god Set.
See. Alright, if there's nothing else we should know, We will be on our way.
Go into the night. What would you like to do?
Once we're out of Elysium, perhaps we're back in the carriage, I say, Mithras is just jealous they worship someone other than him.
That sounds about right.
Doesn't he get that privilege though? How'd I show you?
Whatever do you mean, Alistair?
What do you mean? What do I mean? Like, he's a god. If he doesn't want somebody to be around or be worshipped, I think he has that privilege. But also, like, do it yourself.
True.
I mean, I'm not upset. He is.
Setites, much like Tremere, are problematic. They cause chaos and disorder, and they aim to break down society. They most certainly will do what they can to weaken the camp.
All I know is, I don't need an accent anymore. Right, all I know is that I make a lot of money by working with them. And they're one of the few kindred in the city who've approached me with any modicum of respect and offered a partnership that's been very beneficial. Every other kindred just seems to tell me what to do, expect me to do it, and threaten me if I don't. I quite like these followers of Set.
They do have exceptional
but
teeth.
what if Mithras just decides to kill you?
He may try his hardest,
Uh,
likely succeed. But I don't plan on spending my entire unlife just cowering under Mithras' shadow. All Mithras has really accomplished is being born a very long time ago.
I mean, you don't have to cower.
Well, I don't know. You say if your response to everything is "What if Mithras kills you?" Well, what if he does? It's always a possibility.
I honestly think that you can answer any question with that. What if Mithras kills you? I mean,
Right.
I'm gonna
I will
go
not
out
let
and
that
try-
dictate
what if-
my decisions, unless I was directly opposing him.
I'd say
By
you
the
only
way-
live once, but
I don't know if I want to get rid of the Setites.
Would it be possible for you to speak with your contact and see about having your contacts leave the city without actually leaving the city? Maybe
Well,
allowing them time
That
to
was
set up.
my... You've got a brain for these things, Inspector. I tell you what, instead of preventing crimes, you could have been doing them. My thought was to do exactly that. Really, this helps my position, is they need to get out one way or another. If we're not the ones to destroy them, someone else will be given the task, right?
Indeed.
I can give them an out, and if they still want to use London as a way to have power and influence, well, they'll have to do it through me, or us.
And surely they could set up some sort of scapegoat that member of their clan maybe is in poor standing, who can take the fall. We can claim a job well done.
Also, interesting to find out, he said they're a faction clan, right? I wonder if the ones I'm doing business with are perhaps could stand to benefit if we remove the Setites, and those Setites were from a different faction within the clan.
Yes, that's quite true. We could be doing both factions a favor. The Sedite faction you're in business with and the Camarilla.
I think that might be the most profitable option. We still do what we were tasked to do, and my pockets are not... Gold in my pockets is not harmed. Alright, do I have a way, Storyteller, of contacting my partners?
You're aware of the Setite house thing on the outskirts of town?
Right. Okay. Well, we can, I know where my folk operate out of. We can go there and have this discussion before talking to this, Halem fellow. Does that sound agreeable?
You're the boss.
All right. We will instead go to where my contacts are.
The carriage heads out of the city, along to the outskirts, and arrives at the Setite mansion. The coterie walk up the long winding path and knock on the grandiose double doors, and are greeted by a butler. Good evening. How may I be of assistance?
Good evening, indeed. What was the person's name I spoke with? I don't remember. I know he gave me a fake name at first, but then I thought I got a real one, but I don't know what to search.
Double check, but I think it was Harim.
Oh, this is the same person?
It is now.
Harim.
Got it, Harem. Yeah, Dopium Den. That's not the same name we got for the antique place, is it? That was
The antique place was Halem Bay.
Halem.
Because
Oh, is it the place, not the person's name?
no, it's the name. I'm just really
Okay.
imaginative with names, as you can tell from
Got it.
a young man.
Got it. Perfect. Yes, I'll let's speak to Harem. Let him know which is Aldric.
Of course, sir. Please come in. And the coterie are led through the mansion, seeing various columns filled entirely with evil, venomous vipers that are better off burned or as a pair of shoes or handbag than alive. On one side of the grand open mansion is a series of bays with pillows and sheets and people obviously fornicating. On the opposite side is what appears to be an open area for people to indulge with opium and other inebriating substances. In the middle is just a series of tables and chairs with people sat drinking tea, coffee, or just observing. The coterie are led to one of the tables in the middle. Each take a seat in front of Harim. Mr. Aldric.
This isn't bad.
So Harem. Sorry for barging in unannounced like this. But we have a potential problem that I'm hoping might instead be an opportunity for you.
Do go on, I do love a good opportunity.
Just this evening, myself, my coterie, were tasked by the Camarilla with rooting out and destroying your clan in London. They are aware of you and your operations and whatnot, and apparently Mithras himself, I'm sure you know, is not at all pleased with your presence.
By you, he means your clan.
I see. Mithras
So,
is...
Oh, go ahead.
Mithras is pompous, arrogant. He fancies himself a god, Of course, there is only the gods of ancient lands. He is a formidable opponent, however. As for the Camarilla being aware of our presence, it worries us not. However, I would like to know where they think we are.
That's where this opportunity comes in. Intelligence has it that your clan is not exactly all get along, at least not here in the city. There's different factions among you.
It is true that the ways to achieve our end goals are split between various individuals and groups, though the end goal is the same.
Right. Well, it might be beneficial for you, as my partner, to perhaps give up one of these other groups, so everyone thinks they have caught and cut the head off the snake. Buying you some time to perhaps be a little more discreet with your activities.
Hiram leans back, crossing his legs. He picks up a cup of tea and begins sipping it. Would anyone else care for tea?
I wouldn't
Take
mind.
some.
Love a tea, thank you.
I'm quite fine, no thanks.
Hiram gestures to one of the many staff members busying themselves around the room, and but a few moments later, you are each presented with a cup of tea that asks for one. It smells fragrant, unlike anything you would normally get in London. Now, you see, Mr. Aldric, though perhaps we might be one clan, perhaps one family even, that does not mean that we are in constant communication. I am intrigued to know where these other followers of Set are, for I myself am ignorant to their location.
Interesting. Well, it's good to know. Hopefully the ones we have to seek out are not ones you know. Are you familiar with Mr. Alum Bay?
I have heard of the name. He is directly from our homeland. I have not had the pleasure of meeting him, though. Is he within the city, then?
Is we have a location for him. He is the thread that we are to begin pulling to unravel the rest of your clan.
Intriguing. We have not had any direct contact with him ourselves. His agenda might be his own.
Very well. So, perhaps it's just good then that you know that we will have to pursue this lead. And I hope it does not negatively impact your business or our business.
If one of our brethren is bringing too much attention to himself, then we would have no problem whatsoever with you silencing him.
That's very good to hear. I hope if you hear of any incidents, you will not take offense or feel the need to consider yourself an enemy of mine.
What must be done must be done. We understand to maintain a grand and illustrious posture, you must do what the Camarilla tells you. But I'm sure we both know where your loyalties lie.
Right, see, I told people I liked you, and I knew I was right. Alright, is there perhaps something you can give us to help us gain the trust of this other Setite? Any phrases, symbology, and anything of the sort that one could come to and would make one of your clan feel they are dealing with a friend or someone to be trusted?
It is hard to give direct instruction without knowing the man's agenda, but it never hurts to use a kind word.
Right. Anything we can bring, anything you can spare that would show us as friends of the clan.
Should we take a snake?
No.
Good.
Such symbols are meaningless to us. Anything that I give you could be replicated 1,000 times over, and probably has by this empire that has put us under their boot. Perhaps that might be a way in.
Right. Alright, well, thank you for your assistance. Hopefully next time we meet, it'll be only good news.
Thank you for your honesty. It is most refreshing to have an honest kindred.
I have been called that. Alright, thank you for your hospitality and the tea. We have work to do.
Good evening.
As usual, I would not have drank the tea, just smelled it, held the warm cup in my hand.
Everyone heading out?
Yeah. I will have properly finished off the tea and daintily put it back on its saucer before leaving.
I finished the tea, and then as soon as we get outside, I force myself to throw it up.
What'd you do that for?
I can't keep food down as much as I used to be able to. Rather be safe than sorry.
The coterie
Wait,
head out of the mansion and into Aldric's carriage. As they leave, they notice a piece of graffiti sprayed upon the Setite mansion that reads, "Traven is a terrible person," and head back towards the city proper. Is there anything you wish to discuss en route, and where are you heading?
I suppose the antique shop.
Yeah, it's the only place to go, I think, at the moment.
Right, I think our way in then just might be to display some anti-empire sentiments and whatnot. Be friendly and cordial. Right, and not seem like we're proper folk of upper society
Always
that has not done
Friendly
as
and
well.
cordial.
Right, but you are to most people, but I've noticed when all people come around and people of different statuses, sometimes you're less cordial. And I don't mean to direct this at you, Evelyn, but just maybe this one instance, we sweep some of that under the rug for now.
They're just not as important.
Well, we all agree, I'm sure, but you don't have to express it, right? You can see how someone might take offense to it. You can. Do you know?
Normally, I wouldn't care if they take offense, but in this case, I do care.
Right. You could take satisfaction knowing at the end of the day, they will probably die because of our actions.
Why do we think I wouldn't like these people?
They're foreigners. They're in unsavory business, it seems like. I'm not sure what the status is. You know. Right, I saw you yell at a child for being poor once, and that's ever since then. I'm just not sure who's gonna get your wrath.
I'm pretty sure it was more than once.
A whole group of children. You know?
This person is poor. That's not an issue.
Am I selfish for being the only one that doesn't want to die because of somebody else's mistakes, though?
I mean, that seems quite reasonable. No one wants to die for someone else's mistake.
I'll refuse.
Right, but I feel like you're making a mistake.
What
Which
do you believe
mistake?
that mistake is?
We were told to do something and you're skirting the rules. You're trying to go behind the Camarilla's back, and that scares me.
Oh, right. No, I am willing to die for that. I mean, like I said, if your whole life you wish to just obey the rules and listen to what people tell you and be a good servant, some people I've heard servants, some of them are quite happy in their lot in life. I'm not. I wouldn't be, unfortunately. I would rather live
Aldric?
short and happy than long and miserable.
Out of everybody here, I think I'm the least good servant there is.
That's
I
why I'm
don't need to be
confused why you
preached
keep
on
bringing
about
this
that.
up. Then why bring it up?
Because in this life, those rules help keep things civilized. I mean, just think, if they allowed everybody to run around and just commit amaranth, then we probably wouldn't be here. If that was if that wasn't a rule or against the rules, then the strongest would just be the only ones left. They would consume everybody below them, so they would stay at the top.
I'm giving both Thurston and Inspector Gray the side eye at this point.
I know I'm using an extreme example, but rules are there for a reason. And in our specific case, where you potentially could live forever and be infinitely powerful, some people don't want you to do that. That's why those rules are there. But also, you're given the ability and possibility to be able to get more powerful. And I look over at Thurston and Inspector Gray.
It seems you're just picking and choosing which rules are important to follow, and we've just chosen different ones.
I haven't picked or chosen any. I'm pretty sure I followed all the Camarilla rules.
Right, but there's other rules you ignore, like the rule of the law of don't murder people. You murder as you please, and at some point that's going to draw attention
That's
to you.
not a
People are going
Camarilla
to
rule.
Right, it's just a rule. Like I said, you're picking and choosing whose rules matter and whose rules don't.
I don't follow kind rule. I don't know if you know this, but I'm not human anymore.
Right, they can. You said you follow this because you want to live. The kind can kill you. They will kill you if you kill enough of them, and they catch wind of it and they send someone after you. You're dead. Same as Camarilla. You do something they don't like, they catch wind of it, they send someone after you. You're dead. There's always a rule that you can choose to break or not. This is one I do not care about. If a rule is stop another clan because we don't like that clan, I'm willing to skirt that rule. But if you feel this is risking your life, I don't want to put your life in danger. I will give you every opportunity to have deniability on this if you would be more comfortable with that.
Oh, I don't think I need you to protect me from that. I can do that myself. Thank you, though.
What is the issue then?
Just trying to protect you, I guess.
I can do that myself. So there we go. We're all big boys making our big boy decisions.
You exaggerate.
Right, yeah.
Lonely.
If there was ever an exception to rules we have to follow.
She's not lonely. She has a lady at the house. She's fine.
The Setites are serpents and cannot be trusted. However, as we've seen in the past with I'm drawing a blank. What was Kendu's character's name?
Aldo.
Aldo. As we've seen in the past with Aldo, who, despite being a usurping Tremere, is a upstanding member of kindred society. I agree with Aldric that we shouldn't persecute an entire clan for the deeds of an individual, or vice versa. Aldo shouldn't be persecuted because he is of a clan of usurpers. Therefore, I think it is fair that, despite generally speaking Setites being snakes, we should give each kindred of that clan a fair opportunity. Aldric has a working business relationship, and as far as we are aware, that relationship has not betrayed him. So I feel it's within our best interest to further that relationship.
I mean, I disagree. If there's ever a snake of a kindred, it's Aldo, Inspector. He's the worst kindred I've ever met.
I have to agree.
Oh, well.
That's a poor
Perhaps.
example, Inspector, but I see what you're saying and I agree. At the end of the day, I'm mostly doing this for my own personal gain. The Setites might be snakes in the grass and whatnot, but I'm a bit of a snake myself.
So we
Your
just wear
game is
boots
my
and we
game.
should be fine.
All right. So we'll proceed with our normal discretion.
I'm tired of all these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plot.
That's the secret Setite code phrase we needed.
I wish I could give you another XP point because that line never occurred to me. Well done. Well done.
Wow.
The coterie arrive at the antique shop they were told about, finding it weaved into various shops of Soho Square, but standing out because it is the only one with lights on, and still obviously open. The coterie leave the carriage, with Aldric holding the door open for Eveline as they all walk towards the antique shop. Thurston takes the lead, and holds the door open for Alistair, letting it close as Aldric approaches it, and holds it open himself for Eveline. The coterie taking the sights of various trinkets, from the exquisitely valuable and decadent, to the small and useful, but still unmistakably priceless. All the items are strange and esoteric in their nature. An unhidden theme of Egyptian culture underlines all the items. At the back of the shop, displayed over the counter, is an ancient scroll with strange symbols upon it. Clearly visible on one side of the papyrus scroll is the figure of a man, barefoot, with a gold and white skirt, and the head of what looks like a jackal. Standing under the ancient rendering is an extremely well-dressed man, clearly of Egyptian origin. Behind the counter, he greets them with an unnerving smile, placing his hands down, and leans forward, brushing his thinning jet-black hair from his eyes. And picture your own Egyptian accent, because I'm not going to do one. Good evening. Sorry?
Is there any jewelry on display? I'm assuming.
Shitloads.
Eveline would be ignoring him and looking at the jewelry.
It's great big chunky gold stuff. Good evening, miss and sirs. Welcome to my humble collection of antiquities. Is there something in particular you seek tonight?
This is pretty, I say as I'm touching the closest necklace.
You have a fine eye, miss.
Wait, she's looking at jewelry. Why are you looking at her eyes?
I wouldn't.
To some, precious stones are invaluable. To others, women's eyes are more precious.
This gentleman.
Quite
God,
poetic.
I think we need to leave. I mean, not her. Leave them two alone.
Right. Anything that you deem that you would like, Eveline, please pick out, and we'll be sure to purchase on your behalf.
I'm sure I can find the most expensive necklace there.
Everything you see is for sale, with the exception of the scroll above me.
What is that particular scroll? I'm not familiar.
The scroll depicts a legend of Nephron Ka, a mummy from a bygone age, a figure of legend that, according to myth, will be in the service of those who perform some ineffable ritual. It is merely a precious item to me, and one I have particular sentimental attachment to, as it reminds me of home and all that I have left behind.
Then why leave?
I came here to make money, miss. What other reason is there to leave one's own land? What else could compel a man but to seek his fortune?
That is something I am quite fluent in. If you're indeed interested in making money.
Of course, sir, and I could tell by your fancy dress that you were a man of taste.
Tell me, I do quite a bit of business in the city myself. Perhaps you'd be interested in a partnership? My companion here seems to appreciate you have a man of good taste, so I trust her eye. If she likes what she sees, that must mean you know what you're doing.
An intriguing
I go over
offer,
to Aldric and I just go, remember the dog. The human dog.
Oh, yeah.
What line of business are you in, sir?
I am in the line of providing the masses what they desire, whatever that may be.
He's an entrepreneur.
I am.
I see. And what is it the masses currently desire?
Currently, the people are in need of medicine. And I am in the business of perhaps treatments from other locations. New medicines, or improved medicines they might not be as accustomed to.
I fear that medicine is outside my sphere of purview. I am but a simple antiques dealer.
Well, then what is it you use to? What is in your sphere then? Simply antiques?
Antiques from my homeland.
I'm not sure how many people you're going to draw in with antiques only.
At that moment, I bring up what I think is the most expensive looking necklace and say, tell me more about this.
It is a gold inlaid necklace with a blood red ruby in the center. It has 24 horsepower, a 3-liter engine, one previous owner.
It's delightful. I want this one.
Then you shall have it. Please, if you can finalize the sale on this item, I'd love to discuss more with you.
Of course.
If so, I take it you're not in the need for a business partner then, or you just need someone more in line with what you're peddling.
Allow me to put it this way, sir. The necklace your companion has chosen is £100.
Quite heavy.
Yeah, that's a rough guess about $10,000.
Not to make me spend a resource stat on your damn necklace.
Don't let Evelyn have unfettered access to your pocketbook.
My shop is the only shop in the all of London where you will find genuine Egyptian artifacts. Everything else has been confiscated by the British Army and is kept under lock and key in a museum in this land.
Why hasn't yours been compensated? Whatever.
Because these treasures were privately owned. Even the British
And you
don't
wish to
have the
see them in
authority.
Londoners' hands. I thought you'd want to keep them in your country. Not bring them here and sell them to these people.
I would rather sell them on my own terms than have them pillaged by redcoats.
So, wait. If I wear this, will it get me in trouble?
You may fully be endorsed with appropriating some of my culture.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Victorian London, that's the fashionable thing.
Okay. Oh, then this one. And I'll put it on.
It is
Very
cold,
well.
it is heavy, it is expensive.
It's kind of gaudy. It doesn't fit with anything else. And I don't mean on you. I just mean us.
And you call me eccentric.
This means I need a dress to match.
But the color of the ruby brings out the color of your lips. £100, please.
I'll pay the bill.
That's going to cost you a dot in resources for the night.
Yeah, that's some liquidation. We'll talk about your theater, about your... Alright, do you have other businessmen you work with? Are you alone on your journey here? Did you come with family, friends, anything of the sort?
I have friends, of course. It would be most unwise, a man of my nature, to not have friends in this inhospitable city.
That is good to know. Perhaps, or if your friends are in the same business, perhaps we can all have a meeting of sorts.
My friends are not very sociable outside of our own circles.
Well, surely someone as generous with their pocketbook as I am could perhaps make their way into those social circles.
It's not that kind of social circle, sir.
Right, and I am looking for friends outside my usual social circle, especially since my social circle wishes to destroy your social circle. If you wish for the Setites to survive at any length in the city, you're going to need friends. Other potential outcasts like myself.
Obviously, I appreciate your culture.
Perhaps we might continue this conversation in the back room.
Let us.
You'll lead the way through beaded curtain into the storeroom.
I sit down and put my foot up on something expensive, probably. Have you guys ever wondered or noticed how much more pretentious we act after those Americans kicked us out?
I'll have you know we were pretentious long before then.
I mean, it's only been like 100 years, and I just gesture around.
Conquered the entire continent of Africa, but America is the one we've got to remember.
You pretty much on the whole world at one point and got evicted.
I think it was about 2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we fucked everyone up because we're cunts. The stockroom is filled with crates, each one containing shipping stamps showing it has come from Egypt, one of the many jewels that make up the crown of the empire. Halen Bay busies himself. Please, I'm sorry for the mess. take a seat wherever you might find one. Be careful what you touch. Some things are more fragile than others. Would you care for tea? Coffee?
Take tea, please.
Anybody else for tea?
I am quite
I'm
well,
good,
thank you for the offer.
Please excuse me, then I must lock up the front of the shop while we talk business and prepare the tea leaves. And he'll wander off into the front of the shop. Is there anything you wish to do in this?
As soon as
back
he wanders off, I'll look towards the others. Someone should follow, just in case.
I'm gonna cast Silence of Death, and I'll follow him far enough that hopefully he doesn't notice me, but I'll
You could do
rolls.
obfuscate too if you wanted.
I could, yeah. Yeah, why not? I'll roll pass without a trace.
do a rouse check for me, please. Gain a hunger.
There's my first.
Is there anything
yes.
anyone else wants to do?
Is there any jewelry in this back room?
You
Do
have enough jewelry.
intelligence investigation for me, please, Eveline.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh,
Eveline begins to rummage around the back room, becoming more and more frantic. She finds various pictures of Halen Bey and his family from Egypt and pockets them for no other reason other than to simply possess something. Give yourself a humanity stain. However, as Eveline rummages, she also finds a penned but unfinished letter addressed to someone called Danvers. The letter is incomplete, but makes mention of taking great risk posing as a member of the Ventru, especially when Cyril Masters is a regular patron at Danvers' Den of Iniquity, though it does not mention where Danvers is, or his opium dens are.
I immediately show the letter to Aldric.
Sorry, typing a second late. So is Demnis is a Ventru who's working with them in their opium dens?
No, masquerading as a venturer.
She said the
Oh.
name of the show!
You know, sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it?
Dare you? But there's no location on the opium dens. Just okay. Are we familiar with that name? Is that like a legitimate Ventru that we know from Elysium?
If it's in your journal, then yes. If it isn't in your journal, then no.
Is the name Demnis? How am I spelling Demnis?
Danvers.
I don't think so.
Alistair is overcome, and his eyes gloss over. He has visions of at least 2 more things that need to be found here before anything of value is gone.
I won't say anything. I'll just go look.
Wits and awareness or intelligence investigation, whichever you prefer.
Like, I'll just start moving stuff frantically. 3.
Perfect. Alistair begins his own wanderings through the room, throwing various priceless objects over his shoulder as they do not interest him. Eventually he comes across a letter from someone merely named as Patricia. It reads, "I've adored her since the moment I first saw her. Before I was even able to speak to her, I knew I wanted to belong to her, and her to me. She dances like an angel in heaven. Her form and grace is perfect. I dreamt of her, The first time I've dreamed in what seems like an eternity. We were in a room, pink flowers in a bowl upon her windowsill. I handed her a bunch of thorned blood-red roses, and we embraced. She knelt up and looked me in the eyes before she kissed me. It felt like heaven itself as her warm, soft lips pressed against my own. I could feel her excitement that only a woman can show upon my knee, and then I awoke. Perhaps this is the soul of Sir Richard Burton touching my own. The letter rambles on, but what does catch the coteries' attention, though, is a slightly panicked, or Alistair's attention, is a slightly panicked explanation that it seems the woman in the dream is named Rebecca Grey. The letter's author laments that they are to never be together, as Rebecca Grey seems aware of the presence of the temple's location, and that Halem may have to suffer his wrath to keep the temple secret, even if she does believe it to be a coven for mortals.
Seeing everyone else rummaging and looking for stuff, I will look around as well.
This thing's weird. It
Sorry?
kind of reads like a Thurston love story, but then ends like Aldric's angst.
Thurston, you can write a love story like that?
He's a hopeless romantic. Can't you tell? I mean, he's ugly and loves art. Duh.
Not appreciated in his own time.
Yeah.
Inspector Grey also begins a quick search of the area. Eventually, he finds hidden beneath various brass plates on the wall a map of London. 3 locations have been marked with an X, one in the City of London, one in the East End, and the final one in the West End. A small note has been scribbled along the bottom of the map that reads, 3 groups infiltrated. Master is unaware of the plant, as are the local peelers. Masters is unaware of the plant, as are the local peelers.
What's those 3 locations?
One in the City of London, one in the East End, and the final one in the West End.
It would appear our friends are doing some infiltration.
And Halem Bay returns to the stockroom with 2 cups of tea and places one in front of Eveline, and notices things have been thrown around, but appears to not say anything as he sits down and picks up his own tea.
I know his feeling right now because like I leave a room and come back 5 minutes later with my kids and it's just destroyed. Like I can relate so hard right now.
Acting like nothing's unusual, I sit down, hold my tea, smell it, hold it.
Is this how you hold tea?
Holding it
Just
smell.
tea face wash.
I
That's
was
right,
invisible. I was invisible following him. Did I hear him talking about anything or?
No, he's not Malkavian. He doesn't talk to himself, and you just watched him lock up the shop.
I feel attacked again. Twice.
Roll a blind down and make tea. Although he did commit the ultimate sin of putting the water in the cup first and then the tea, which is disgusting and offensive. And I'm tempted to give you a humanity stain for watching it and not stopping it.
After he goes back into the room with the others, I'll drop all my obfuscate stuff and walk back. Sorry, everyone. I got distracted by some murals I saw. And I'll rejoin the group.
So tell me about this business proposition. about yourselves. I would not like to enter into a business pact with complete strangers.
All you really need to know about us is that we are willing to help you. We are willing to spare your lives, right? We do not have much of a choice, and we've been indoctrinated into the Camarilla. And as such, we often receive requests from them. One such was to destroy you and your ilk, and they're aware of you. I've come to instead warn you, and perhaps help you, as I also would eventually like to remove my shackles from the Camarilla.
And what is it that you think makes you think I cannot protect my own unlife?
Because you're in a room with all of us. And if we did what we were sent to do, you wouldn't be very good at protecting yourselves by getting yourself into this situation now, would you?
How would you know? You have walked into my establishment, and instead of doing battle, we are sat here together, drinking tea and conversing.
Right, and
How
that
do you
is
know
by
that
my
wasn't my will?
grace. Yes, Alistair. Oh. Your backwards talk, I'm sure, works wonders on certain customers, but I mean, let's cut through that, right? Show me a modicum of respect. We're not trying to pretend like you have the upper hand here, or in a position to threaten me or my coterie. I've not come to do spar with words or other means. I've legitimately come to help you.
Then please tell me
If you
how
don't-
you think you may help me.
First, I need to know exactly what your situation is. Then I could propose a plan to protect you and your clan. And of course, I'm not doing this purely for the philanthropy of it. I wish to make money off of this proposition. If you don't believe me, at least believe the fact that I enjoy wealth. And looking around your shop, you have it. But I'm not really interested in exploiting people if I can enter into legitimate partnerships.
Are you being entirely honest with me? And he's going to cast Compel alongside Rationalize as he asks this to you. I'm going to assume that you want to resist.
Don't think with Dominate I can answer questions. Otherwise, I'd be doing that constantly. Isn't it something to where you specifically, like, if you ask someone to say anything, they can repeat the word, but they can't use any of their own, like, functions of the brain to figure something out?
In that case, I'll use Mesmerize. Which I
It
think
could
is
be a
more-
presence type thing, which I know the set types are great at. Or, I mean, you're a storyteller. We can also just say it works that way for him, and I'll gladly roll against it. But that's why I essentially didn't walk in and mesmerize him into being like, tell me who your contacts are.
That wouldn't have worked well for you.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Yeah, I would have thought that Compel or Mesmerize sort of apply because it's against your nature to answer, are you telling me the truth?
Yeah, let's roll it
Yeah.
off. I'll roll with the story here.
Roll them?
So you want to
what
roll
am I
intelligence
rolling?
and resolve. Watch him roll like 8.
No, I do not have many dice. I'll surge though.
Shit.
Oh.
I'm gonna willpower that too.
Okay, so am I.
Whoops, that's not what I
Oh,
meant
that's
to
the
do.
one we were.
It's
Yeah.
the WP reroll button underneath the willpower bar.
Oof, he inched me out.
So that's going to go to Helen Bay. Are you being honest with me?
No.
I thought as much. So pray tell, what exactly is in it for you, helping me with my cause? Again, this isn't a
am I
this
like
isn't compel. This is just a regular
Okay.
question.
My personal gain? I said I am fully willing to exploit you in this.
You will forget ever coming here tonight. Oh, yeah, I should have done a tip for that, so yeah, I'm good. Intelligence and resolve.
And he's doing this to just me, right?
Just you. Just you.
You can't do that to more than one person.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll it straight. 666.
Hey, you got the beast.
Oh yeah, and I did.
That really is the number of the beast. Someone get Bruce Dickinson in here. Thank you, Vancouver. So you will forget your meeting tonight with Halen. And as his words echo through your skull, the beast inside of you screams up. You become obsessed with possessing something in this shop, desiring to add it to your proverbial hoard. This can be anything from an object to a piece of property to an actual person. Any action not taken towards this purpose will incur a 2-dice penalty. This compulsion will persist until ownership has been established, or the object of desire becomes unobtainable.
Okay.
Now for the rest of you. Being led by someone with such foolhardiness, it is going to get you all in trouble.
Thank you. Sorry, sir. I was literally just saying this before we walked in, and he told me I was an idiot.
Oh, fuck me. Get out.
You just rolled the red carpet out for that. Sorry.
Right? Now I actually need a bit of help with Bully on this one. For mass manipulation. I'm hoping it means I can use something like compel, mixed with rationalize on the fucking lot of you if I do like 5 rouse checks.
I think mass manip is just an extra rouse check. So it's
Not one per person?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because it's very ambiguously worded in the book, as you can see, of to the cost of the power amplified. But nowhere does it say Yeah, so you need to do X for this.
Yes, so like compel's free, so you can mass manipulation compel, and it just costs the 1 rouse check. But if you mesmerize, compel, rationalize, then each of those is a rouse. Oh wait, no, rationalize isn't a rouse. But
No.
yeah, if you want to do mass manipulate, rationalize, compel, that is technically 1 rouse check.
I'm doing that. Bollocks. And asking you all to leave the premises.
He notices that it doesn't even need to work on Alistair. He just agrees and leaves on his own.
Yeah, you don't have to resist, but if you wish to resist, it is intelligence.
Right, like
and
it's
resolve.
like I'm talking the whole time, and it just like it didn't work because duh. Yeah, I'm yesing again. Yep.
So, would we all roll, or just whoever has the highest intelligence and resolve roll?
All.
Because it said the strongest.
I think that's
I'd
in like
roll
a
either way.
mob
That's a good,
situation.
yeah, doing like NPCs. So Shiver, if someone mass manips a crowd, Shiver isn't rolling 100 times.
So it's intelligence and resolve.
Alistair, you already left, so we're not going to go through the beast with you.
Okay.
But we are with Eveline.
No.
And last but not least, Aldric as well. Okay. You will all be compelled to leave under Halem's word. You don't know why, but you feel it is the right thing to do for yourselves. Eveline, as you're walking through the shop, the beast inside of you screams up. And you feel the urge to sing. Aldric!
Everybody got the beast. What the?
Aldric! We're going to do something slightly different because otherwise it's going to get pretty freaky. As you're leaving the shop, you see a particularly vibrant ruby. You simply must have it. Due to the beast screaming at you to possess something, you can't help yourself, but grab it and pocket it, quieting your beast that is screaming at you to possess something. But as you do so, you feel compelled once more. You can no longer use teamwork and perform any action that avoids establishing dominance or challenging authority at a 2 dice penalty. This compulsion will end when you have won and gloated over it. You are suffering from the dominance compulsion as you leave the shop and enter into the carriage.
As I am walking out of the shop, I start pointing at things that I pass and replacing the lyrics of these are a few of my favorite things with the things I'm pointing at. I wish I was clever enough to actually do that on the fly. But...
And as you all...
You also wrote a Disney song before it was even invented, so...
And as you all enter into the carriage, the beast screaming in at least 2 members, we shall take a break and be right back. Welcome back, everybody. The coterie have left Halem Bay's shop and proceeded into Aldric's carriage. Aldric is currently suffering from the dominate compulsion. Eveline
Gotta be a
is
dick
suffering.
again.
Those are a few of my favorite things.
And the carriage heads off in the direction of Aldric's choosing through the streets of London. Is there anything you'd like to discuss en route?
First thing would be him looking out the window. All right, we have arrived.
I'm singing out
my
the window.
Plan of action is probably to go in, much like with our other satellites, just make him think we're on his side, see what information I can get. Maybe spend some money at this place to, butter him up a bit.
That didn't seem to go well with the last individual.
Elbow Inspector Gray really hard.
What
What do you mean?
Lady-
The last individual,
lady-
the last satellite we spoke to, it worked out wonderfully. He's with us.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah,
This has all just been a bad idea. I've been saying it from the beginning.
There's no need to throw elbows, good lady.
No need to throw bows.
I suppose, we did retrieve that list of potential locations that are under Setite infiltration.
Oh, what are you talking about?
The, well, yes, when we were rummaging about, we found the group in the city of London, the east and the west of London. So 3 groups. We could pick
Where did
one
you
of-
you found this information the whole time? You just now are saying something about it, Inspector.
Well, I thought we were all aware of this information. It's not like we kept it secret intentionally.
I remember reading a letter that just really felt like Thurston wrote it for Aldric.
I don't know what any of you are talking about. Let us go inside and extract the information.
Don't we still have that stuff with us?
Wait, are we going into the place we just left? I mean,
You're aware that because it's something that's verbalized out loud. So you're like, that his memory was. He said like you've never been to this place before. You don't remember being here.
I'm asking Shiver.
Oh,
The documents we found, do we still have them?
I mean, if no one ever said they took them, but if you want to assume that you took letters, there were 2 letters and a big map.
Well, we
I said you
had
could
it.
take-
He came back. The room was a mess. I never had time to put him back, and he kicked us out. So
Then you have 2 letters.
I bust out the love letter that went real angsty. Yeah, we found this in there before we left. I handed it to Aldric.
And I had given Aldric the other letter. So if he puts his hand in his pocket, he might find it.
yes, my impression was our business was concluded and we left. I mean, you did, do I want to say that? About the
Yes.
lovely necklace? Yeah. I mean, Aldric,
No.
you did make that
What's your
lovely
character
purchase,
say?
did you not?
I elbow him again really hard.
Lady
I have
Evelyn.
never been here. I don't know why we're acting like we've been here. We've just arrived, and I'm getting ready to go inside and conclude our business.
If
Just
it's
nothing
okay,
else.
can I just stay out here and wait? This place makes me uneasy.
That's perfectly fine with me, Alistair. Anyone else want to wait here while I go inside and do everything?
Yeah, I don't think we
Well-
need to stop here.
Aldric, we have been here. We left when we were finished, but undoubtedly that Setite serpent has mucked around your mom. If you wish me to accompany you, we can go back.
I'm sorry, we've already been inside.
Yes.
Yep.
We were successful in extracting information.
Yeah.
Then why do I not
Somewhat.
remember it?
As
I think you can
recall,
answer your own question. It's something you do.
He
As-
did
mumble some things at you before we stormed out.
Nobody does that to me.
Like, I just feel like he did the most Aldric thing to Aldric.
He did kind of Aldric. I
Yeah.
will say
It's
that.
the
You got
worst thing you
Aldric.
can do to an Aldrich.
Eh?
It's Aldrich him.
Well, you see, you were under negotiation with the proprietor of this establishment. He rebuffed them and wanted nothing to do with us. And after that, we were satisfied and we left.
Yeah, like the last thing I remember was everything was going great, and then he politely asked us to leave, and we were like, okay.
You all
Got it.
watched
We
him
need to
tamper
know.
with my brain and just let it happen. No one did anything about it.
What are we supposed to
Well,
do?
before,
Well,
yeah,
Stop
before
him.
we could.
To be
Then
fair,
Interject.
FIFA.
Threaten his life. Kill him if necessary. I would not sit
Yeah,
there
but-
and watch as someone tampered with anyone in his mind.
I mean, I wasn't 100% aware of what was going on. I mean, he asked you to speak truthfully. I assumed you were lying to him.
I am always, yes.
I
Outside
wasn't-
of this coterie, of course.
to be completely honest, I don't know when you're trying to lie to somebody and when you're actually just trying to line your pockets. I mean, the way that went, I don't know. You're
I-
doing this
There's
for
no reason
yourself, not
to-
us.
The
It's
only
not
reason.
my responsibility to
someone
tell
would-
if you're telling the truth or not.
What is your responsibility then, Alistair?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
I do recall I was biding my time and waiting for things to continue to go south, and I was going to attack. But then it never came to blows, and we were all just ready to leave.
Yeah,
I-
as soon as he was finished.
Got the
Aldriching
information we
you-
needed.
Yeah, as soon as he finished Aldricing you, he Aldricked us. You see.
Is that what happened? I quite recall that we were happy with the discussion, and like Evelyn said, we got our information and we were ready to leave.
Well, I mean, it had to have been what he did because, like Aldrich said, we should have done something, but he asked us to leave and we did. Why would we
Yeah.
do that?
Either way,
I-
all right, we have other leads. We have. Pull out the letter. This is important, I assume. I also pull out a giant fucking ruby. Why do I have this? Is this his? Is this mine now? It's mine now.
I
Put it
thought the
back in
ruby
my
was on my
pocket.
necklace.
Yeah.
He picked up another one on his way out because of his.
Oh, he picked up
compulsion.
another one. Oh.
I mean, read the letter. You remember why we were coming here? The letter probably tells you the information you're looking for.
I understand that. I just don't like. It's a matter of principle, right? You don't. you
Yeah,
don't let people
teamwork's really
fuck with
important. I
you like
agree.
that.
Trusted
we
that you
can't
had
just-
it handled. You always have it handled.
I usually do. This is quite an opponent, I assume. And I don't feel right walking away letting him have the upper hand like this. But I don't think this is... I'm not going to accomplish anything with you lot in regards to getting even with him, so that will be my task.
Well, Aldrich,
Dun dun dun.
we do have those
Something.
locations from that paperwork he had on his desk that we rummaged through. I recall there was a Setite. The Setites were infiltrating groups. I don't know what groups, but there was one in central London, one on the east, and one on the west. Quite easy to remember. Perhaps we can start with those infiltrated groups and dismantle them, or maybe find some way to use them to work ourselves back up the chain for just when you're being wrong.
Maybe.
God, could you think about it? What if we did try to intervene? If that would have went sideways, oh God. No offense, Aldrich, but I think it was a smart move. Us just leaving. If he was upset enough to do what he did to you, I don't know.
Yes, remember that ferry incident where we all forgot everything except Alistair?
If I
Alright,
could
don't remind me.
turn back time.
All right, let's focus on the next
Again.
steps then. What are these three groups? What do we know about them? Do we have a location? Do we have anything to go off of?
Yes, we've got the City of London location, and the East location, and the West location. That's all the notes I took.
Hey, Aldric,
That's-
What?
if you really want to get back at him, he's got a scroll in there he said wasn't for sale, and it said it was really, really valuable to him. I remember that.
That is useful. I will use that. Thank you. The two letters we have, one's about the Ventru, it's about Rebecca Gray. I
No
forgot the
relation,
third
by the way.
information we got.
I was going to ask that.
Right, this is one about opium and someone pretending to be a Ventru. I will handle this myself.
It's not talking about you, is it?
No. The other information, I assume you guys can do what you wish and try to get to the bottom of it.
If we have a map in the carriage, I would take a pen and mark to the best of my memory where those three dots were, or the three locations that I saw on. If memory serves, these would be the locations of that Central, East, and West groups that were infiltrated. Again, I don't know what groups were infiltrated, just that the Setites have these locations marked as where they have infiltrated some group.
Right, very well. This will be useful.
Inspector Gray,
Yes.
intelligence and streetwise, please.
Alrighty. One moment. Really? I guess I'll try to do two of them. See if I can at least get some. One.
Would you like success at cost?
Sure.
Excellent. Inspector Gray goes over the map, and after a while of staring upon it, begins to realize the pattern of the locations marked are police stations. As he does so, he punches the side of the carriage and realizes he cares very little about his former comrades, about the police in general, and about the living as a whole. Take a humanity stain.
Alrighty.
Preparing Inspector Gray to wassail away.
What?
Eveline starts singing.
What's the name of the song, Eveline?
Wassail away.
No. Orinoco Flow.
Oh, I've been singing the Styx version, which is Come Sail Away. Why is it
These-
Styx earlier?
If you poop while you do it, you sound like Cartman.
These These serpents be damned. I believe these are police stations. Come to think of it, I don't think I've spoken with my police contact so long. Just don't care anymore. But I believe perhaps the said I infiltrated these stations.
Are you
The
okay?
carriage.
There was a lot more detail there than we really needed. Are you okay, Inspector?
I'm quite fine.
I look over at Thurston. Bye.
I know.
The carriage proceeds through the streets of the busy city. The coterie, deep in thought, do not notice the sounds of the horses slowing, and when they finally realize the carriage has come to a complete stop, it is only then that they notice the familiar, ominous fog has engulfed them once more.
I'm not getting out this time.
Caution.
At least first.
We really got to figure this out. I'll get out.
I'll get out and sing into the fog. Is anybody out there? Is there anybody out there?
Thurston, watch over my hat. This is a very important task for you. I'll take my hat off and Thurston, and then I will slam the carriage door shut as I get out.
I immediately put the hat on.
So it's just us three out here? Thurston, you coming?
Go.
You know how this
Take
works. We can't just sit in there.
Play out the dominance. Aldric will step out.
So it's just Thurston staying in?
No, as soon as Alistair said, you know how this works, I'll begrudgingly come out.
As they step out onto the cobbled stone streets, with the dense fog dancing between them, wrapping around their bodies and wisping off, the coterie proceed forward. Eventually, the carriage fades from their view, and fog begins to clear, and the coven of undead find themselves in some unknown clearing. A patch of grass and lilies sits in a raised circle, surrounded by the usual cobbled stone street that snakes its way through London. A wall of fog prevents them from seeing any further, though a woman stands in the centre of the green circle, catching their attention. Her ethereal voice echoes with a supernatural ring as she beckons to them. Again, I'm not doing that. Approach, leeches of the living.
Aldric will approach.
Gray would approach as well.
I'm trying to think of something clever to sing as I approach. Hello, is it me you're looking for?
As the coterie approach the woman, they can see her eyes have a subtle blue glow behind them, and her pure white robe seems to refract light as the coterie notice the temperature drops noticeably as they approach and get closer to the unknown woman. You tamper with forces unknown to you, foreign to this land, yet there is some hope for you yet. You may ask of me 2 questions, and I shall answer them honestly. But be warned, for if you are not ready to hear the answer, I shall not tell you, and if you offend me, I shall punish you.
If I inhale the fog, will it kill me?
No. You may ask 1 question.
Burn 1 question immediately.
I knew you would.
That's why we get 2.
I stand back and just kind of tap my finger.
You know I'm terrible with questions. Does anyone else have any ideas?
Who are you? Who, who, who?
I'm not sure if I'm going to count that as a question or not.
I know a good question to ask, but I also know it won't actually be answered. So what's one that might be answered?
Who's committing amaranth?
Yeah.
That's a really good.
He'll ask it anyway. Worst you could say is you're not ready, and hopefully we still get another one. Or not, it's worth it. Who is committing amaranth in the city?
You try to skip to the end of the book before you appreciate the journey. This offends me. She snaps her fingers, and small lilies begin to sprout all over Aldric's body.
Oh. Strange, but lovely.
Enemies are
you,
all around you. None see you as direct nemesis, though, merely stepping stones to further themselves. Now go, and watch where you walk. You stand in the shadow of the resurrected, whose powers you cannot match and can be used against you. A part of the fog opens, revealing a path. The coterie follow it eagerly. Beginning to stride down as they come to the end, the fog begins to clear and thin, and they find themselves back on the busy streets of the city. The night sky is clear, and the carriage, complete with horses and driver, waits innocently for them on the side of the street, and they recognize that they are on the edge of the West End. And you are still covered in lilies, Aldric. And you will be for the remainder of this game.
Exhale like I was holding my breath. Okay, that's good to know.
And you will be for the remainder of this game and the entirety of the next game.
Covered in lilies?
In lilies.
Like Japanese lilies? Or little girls dancing around?
No, like flower.
Yeah.
Japanese lilies.
I go over and I, just to see what happens, I attempt to pluck one.
That's what I was gonna do.
You pluck one, and it comes off easily in your finger. And then moments later, a new one sprouts in its place.
Oh, you smell better.
I'll give you the number of my florist. She'll love you.
That's also going to be really hard to explain to anybody.
It's quite a interesting fashion choice.
Is it like
You know who would like you a lot? Pandora.
Just to get a better vision.
I don't know what's going on with that woman. I'll go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Good.
Or with what happened with that setite. Or what I'm feeling inside right now, because I'm not feeling too good right now. I'm feeling quite angry, quite not myself.
Do you have lilies in your chest cavity?
The next person to touch me or speak to me will regret it.
Do you have lilies in your chest cavity?
I step back.
Didn't speak to him. I sang to him.
Oh, very well. Shall we move along?
Aldric's gonna look at Eveline. I'm sorry, but this is my compulsion. keep getting the one where I have to be a dick, and I'm already a dickish character, so it just makes it worse. He's going to attempt to compel her.
Compel her to do what?
He's just gonna look at her. Take those scissors of yours, cut your hair, and then parade through the streets, singing about what an annoyance you are.
The funny part is that would end her compulsion.
Roll compel
I'm
for me,
gonna go
please,
for
Aldric. Eveline, intelligence and resolve.
Oh no. I'm gonna use willpower because I don't want to keep having this compulsion and then having to slowly ostracize everybody. I'm gonna reroll 3 of them. Even.
Oh. He's the attacker.
Are you going to stick with it then, Eveline?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it.
Also, you're literally the only one I didn't want to say something because Eveline's the one that's the worst one to do something to that I can't fix as easy. Oh
Eveline.
no!
At the same
Critical
time, this does
performance.
end her compulsion, so
Oh, compulsions are a bitch.
hers just annoying.
You specifically
Unless you want me to
requested
keep
this
singing
one.
randoms. Oh, it's annoying to everyone else. I can keep singing random songs all night.
Only if you do charisma performance for me, please.
So why exactly am I rolling? Like, does my specialty in singing add to this?
It does.
Really? Again, why exactly am I rolling? Okay.
Because Eveline, entranced, will take her scissors out of wherever it is that she stores them and there we go. And cuts her hair particularly short, proceeding to march through the streets of London, twirling her hair in her hand as she sings how much of an annoyance she is. Only a few people pay heed to her, used as they are to various drunks walking through the street and singing. And Eveline is able to make her way wherever she wants to go as she sings at the top of her lungs. About
Would this
old
count
Dick's
as-
mum is
When
a
I-
bitch.
Gloating or winning, even though I didn't, I guess technically gloat.
I mean, you've won.
You made her gloat for you, though. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's I
Yeah.
sort of thought of it as
Yeah.
yeah. As
where-
soon as she turned to leave or turned to start getting out the scissors, Aldric would just be marching into his lab.
Before he gets out of earshot, I'm gonna cast Imitation on him. Aldric, you're an asshole. I'm gonna blood search for it too because I'm not too happy about it.
Oh,
Show me demontation.
While he's
It's
doing that.
composure? Something? But
There's my blood surge.
composure and intelligence, Aldric.
There's my Imitation.
Pixie's got a good point there. How annoying she thinks she is, which wouldn't be much, or Aldrich thinks she is.
I'm going to re-roll before he even re-rolls.
Guess if we're going all out for this, let's do it.
When Eveline stops, if there's anyone around, while they're figuring that out, she'll say, "Come by our theater next Saturday. Hear the best singer in London."
Who is she?
Me, Eveline,
Oof.
of course.
But you just said that you're annoying.
I'll spend it or I'll lose it anyway.
Doesn't matter how annoying the best singer in London is.
Bloody is if you got to listen to it.
All part of the act.
Alistair 4, Aldric at 2. Up that to 1. Superficial willpower damage to Aldric as Alistair forces his voice between Aldric's skull, etching away at his own willpower.
And he got hungry.
Seeing the coterie kind of lashing out at each other, before Gray can see me, I quickly take his hat off of my head. And then I graciously offer it back to him. Sir Gray, I believe you would want this back. I took extra good care of it for the minutes that it was in my possession.
And you'll notice
I was
upon
about
your
to steal
hat,
that hat.
on the inside is the mark of Thurston's brow. Very much the same sort of thing that a slug trail leaves behind.
Granted, it's everywhere he touches it with his fingers, too.
I take the hat, yes. Thank you, Thurston. I just wanted to give you something to do while you sat. Take like a handkerchief. I'll start like wiping the hat clean before I put it away.
Why is my hat dripping with goo?
Aldric will. Oh, Alistair, if you don't do that again.
You don't do that again.
It's not your business. That's between me and Eveline. If you do
Right.
it again, I will punish you. I will put you in torpor and let you think about what you did.
You won't.
I will. I'm telling you right now, I will.
I
So
walk
don't do
away.
it again.
You won't.
That's what I thought. And I will head inside.
I will not follow.
I will head on in.
Inspector
Wait,
Gray,
is Eveline there?
Oh, sorry. Eveline, Alistair, Thurston. Yeah, she probably would have come to the end of the street.
It did a whole lap.
Yeah. Alistair, Eveline, Thurston, what are you three doing?
I've actually forgotten where we're at. Are we back at the Whitechapel house?
Mhm.
I am just going to kind of stand outside for a bit, letting Aldrich think that he went in alone before I go in.
That'll show him.
Also, still keeping an eye out for young men.
Eveline keeps an eye out for young men passing by the house in hopes of soliciting their services. Inspector Gray's gone inside. Thurston, Alistair, what do you two like to do?
Go. I know what I'm doing. I'm just waiting for you.
I'll go inside as well. I don't want to cause any more trouble for them.
Alistair!
I have no reason to go inside, so I'm walking around. So I'm probably walking towards my haven, just pissed off, talking to my girlfriend in my head. Why can't you tell me to kill him? He's the one that needs to die. I know you think it's funny, but it's true.
I think she did tell you before, the first time.
She did, but I
was going to say, she's...
Anything people who are in the house would like to do?
Which location do you think would be the best for us to plan to go after first? The east, west, or central location? Thurston,
Who are you talking to?
Evelyn,
I thought.
Aldric. Oh, sorry. I thought we were all still in a group, except for.
No,
I
Aldrich
like
did his
Aldrich
thing, and then
while
he went to his lab.
Oh, Aldric's in his lab.
Hmm.
Thurston, Evelyn, do you have any thoughts on the matter?
Being yelled at by my dog. Sorry.
Um,
No, I don't have any preferences.
What are we gonna do when we get there?
well, I suppose we have a couple different options. We could attempt the diplomatic route and try to sway one of these groups to our side. Or we could go in covertly and just try to shut them down, offer some punishment for our rejected diplomatic approach.
We're just supposed to be gathering information for now.
Yes, for now it's just information, at least until we all decide on a plan.
And you said these are all police stations?
Indeed, I believe so.
So maybe we could go in under the guise of reporting a crime?
We could.
Yes. Somebody
could
mugged
also-
me and made me look like this.
I could say a
could-
grubby little child stole my wallet.
I could also reach out to my contact and see what information I can give regarding these 3 precincts. Very well then. Are you all looking to retire early for the night, or is there something else we need to do?
Well, we've already lost Alistair, and I don't think.
Have you really lost him though? You probably could just go outside and say his name. He'd be like, "Yes." He's probably forgotten about the whole situation.
Alistair's a lunatic. I'm sure if we bark at the moon, he'll come.
Not Gangrel.
Not Ozzy Osbourne either.
Thank you, Shiv.
Aldric! Anything you want to do in your laboratory before we close for the night? Day?
Stab people.
That's not what that motion was.
No, he just sort of put himself into his work until he was summoned to do otherwise.
And of
Particularly
course,
on his newest work, the not Aneska.
Yeah.
Aneska, yes.
Unesca.
I like it. Well, in that case, we shall bring this week's session to an end. A little bit earlier than normal.
We're
but
all
that's
gonna
fine.
die.
Maybe.
When I get to my room, I will take the lock of hair that I cut off and put it away in a box to save it.
Do you
I mean, that's going to grow
You cry
back.
over it.
That'll be back to
Yeah, it's
normal
gonna grow
next
back
time.
overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I can use that hair to make jewelry.
No, it's gone.
Oh.
He's dead. Yeah. Shit turns to ash.
Oh. Damn.
Ash disappears.
Like as you're twirling it, it probably just dissipates into the wind eventually.
I thought it was
Pretty cool looking.
at least when you're sleeping.
It's a pretty neat effect.
Alistair! Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I'm evil. I do things in my VTM game that's evil.
Fair. Aldric! Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things like making puns in your games? Let's find out.
I don't. Never again. I slipped up once. I'm making
More
a
than
vow
once.
on the internet never to do it again. I am Bully. I run things at my channel, Table Goth. On Tuesdays we play Monster Hearts. Otherwise, all of our stuff is on our YouTube. Go check that out.
Never recommend Table Goth highly enough. Fantastic games, fantastic tutorials, and Bully's beard.
And no puns.
Wonderful. That's a lot.
Your intro for the high school game.
Your intro is super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need some.
Well, thanks.
And I would die
Yeah,
and
Nitro.
or kill for Juicer.
This is great.
Eveline, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I am Ms. Hearts. You can find me just about anywhere as Ms. Hearts. I am also a new member of the Bat City Bombshells. And next week, because I'm not supposed to announce it yet, I will have an announcement for that. And if you need any graphic design or promotional products, go to gibopromo.com.
I like the idea that it is a roller derby team.
Like the name sounds roller derby-ish. Bats and bombshells. Like
Bat City Bombshells is a burlesque troupe, by the way.
I know what it is. I looked
On
it
roller
up,
skates.
but my point is the name implies violence, so it sounds like a roller derby name.
Inspector Gray! Who is Thurston?
Yes.
What does he do? Does he do things?
Oh.
Please tell us what he does.
Thurston is Nitro Typat. He is awesome. He is Nitro Typet everywhere. He does the Table of Horrors with us every week, and I think he does some other stuff too.
Okay, that was pretty bad. Thurston! Who is Inspector Gray? What does he do? Does he do things? Let's find out.
He's here every week playing VTM with us.
Thank you.
On table. Sorry, I just made a GIF and I think too this absolutely losing it to the GIF I made. Yeah, that's about it.
And all that's left for me to do is to say thank you for coming and watching. Tomorrow we have Oxford by Night, which is half an hour earlier than we go live with this, which is our modern day, which is our modern day V5 Chronicle. October is swiftly approaching, and that's going to kill me that week. But stay tuned for announcements on that. Other than that,
When
we
you
shall
do it.
And I don't know what we're playing yet on Monday, but we're probably going to be playing something on Monday. And we are currently working on the play-by-post thing where invites will go out for that once we reach 400 followers. So
Get your friends to follow.
And if you want to be in the play-by-post or what have you, check out links down below, either side of my thighs, to join Discord, Twitter, and so on. We will go raiding on Carry On Comfort Studios, who are doing Night in the Woods. But of course, we can't go until Inspector Gray says the line.
Have a good night.